we enter into a covenant that we shall build a society in which all South Africans, both black and white, will be able to walk tall without any fear in their hearts, assured of their inalienable right to human dignity, a rainbow nation at peace with itself and the world. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another, suffer the indignity of being the skunk of the world. Sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa.
In Soweto, on the morning of 1976, June 16, they all went 6 feet underground. Their blood was even shallowed on the ground. Revolutionaries. Except that sinful sin that showed forceful ejaculation. In relation to education, take this as no contradiction or an addiction, but in addition to our revolution. The atmosphere was decorated with bullets. Backwards never, forward ever roared young lions. Together they stood, together they promised to fall. They were not haters, neither did they chase status, but wanted to change the mentality of dictators. Salute! They were general consumed in a funeral of liberation. Who are they? They are the revolutionaries. Thank you. Yeah, but all thanks to my mom.
Yeah, Umama.
She's a woman amongst women.
The name of the mother. Igama lakama, please. Ubani igama lakama?
Oh, Susan Chikota.
Yeah, libize.
Yes, Susan Chikota.
Ukuphi ke uma yena?
Usekhaya manje.
Okay.
I had a father who left me.
Okay.
And it was more like I'm being induced in poverty.
Okay.
You see. So what I would do is akusimu umuntu othanda ukukhuluma. Angikhona ukukhipha something my head.
Ufela
ngaphakathi.
Yeah.
So it became an inspiration ukuthi when I felt pain, I wrote it down.
Okay.
And it became a poem.
Okay, uphi baba nje ukuthi ubaba wakushiya? Usaphila?
Yeah, yena usaphila mara namanje angazi ukuthi uphi.
Okay.
Yes.
But what is important? Umntwana kamama.
Yes.
Ngicela ukuthi unje kakhulu lo mlayezo mawubheke ku youth.
Okay, for the youth. Okay, what I can say is that my name is Chen Chikota.
Okay.
And I'm Washi the poet. And I was born poor. But I took that poverty as an inspiration. You know. Just looking at Alexandra and see how young people are induced in substance abuse, how people are smoking, how young people are dying each and every day, how young people are getting HIV, how young people are dropping out of school. That is an inspiration to me. It tells me something of where this world is going, and it tells me something of what I must do in order for this world to change. like ngonyana is not fair, Mara. Oh, we never and square again.
Camera side.
Or pule. If we can examine the word free, it's like everything that I'm living, it's free. Practical example. If I do well, I go to university for free. Now from grade 1 to grade 12, I've been in school for free. School uniform is free. Textbooks free. Food at school is free. Everything is free, so definitely I'm born free. Young people, it's like we take everything serious, even small things serious. How you wear clothes, how you walk, how you are, how you behave, how you laugh. Young people, what we want a lot is to be recognized. Never let what people say about you determine you. Don't let what people see you to be you.
Nakato.
I got to deep to the monasy. I'm not going to
What is going on? Alex FM.
Alex FM. Even still now, some black people, they still have that mentality that some people are over some people. You know, they still see themselves as inferior. Our minds are not yet set free. I would like to be an inspiration to change the mindset of young people. You know, as young as I am, I believe I have dreams. And I believe by working hard and thinking positive, I'm going to make it. And that's how I will change the world. You know, if I am inspired, and as young as I am, I can be able to stand amongst multitudes and say, yes, I can make it, then I believe each and every young person in South Africa can say that. The role of a male figure is to inspire. So my only father was Nelson Mandela. Because I took him as a father. The one who made me a man, I can say. It is my dream to be the president of South Africa. If I become president, that I will do is to make sure that I shut up and act. The ANC is like the mother of democracy. In a family, if your parents does something wrong or does a mistake, it doesn't mean you should abandon your parents. So I'm voting the ANC because they are the one who gave birth to me.
We have worked together to build a South Africa that truly belongs to all who live in it, regardless of color, race, class, or creed.
Long live Africa, long live! Long live South Africa, long live!
Dakita Kalani Nemangoe. I'm from Alex FM. And then I would also like to welcome everyone already.
Let us welcome the economic freedom fighters.
Frantz Fanon said that each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it or betray it. So this is our generation. We have discovered our mission. Our mission in our lifetime is economic freedom in our lifetime. So this is a mission that we have discovered and identified for ourselves. So now as young people, we need to make sure that we fulfill this mission. For as long as we breathe, we must fulfill this mission. The most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. You cannot use the tools of the oppressor to want to liberate yourself. So parliament system is a tool of the oppressor in a way. We are not going to be liberated through votings and everything. So that is something that we just need to admit. They will do everything in their power to make sure that people stay stereotyped, you know, to make sure that people become complacent. They just don't care. This is where I grew up. The name of this place is Botlokwa. No matter where you are, you will always remember where you come from. You always miss where you come from because, I mean, you grew up there. You are attached somehow. I miss home a lot. I miss here a lot. I do. I actually grew up in Limpopo while my mother was in Johannesburg working as a domestic worker. So I never had an opportunity to grow up with my mother around me. This is a situation that most young people in South Africa are facing. They never get that opportunity to grow up with their parents because of these economic challenges. When white people acquired land in South Africa, they actually committed black genocide. They actually killed black people, our ancestors, our forefathers. They actually killed them so that they can access this land. Rainbow Nation in South Africa is not practical. In real terms, it has not happened. I'm prepared to actually live together with anyone, regardless of their race, but as long as they have a genuine concern about South Africa. You don't have to be black to realize that black people are still subjected to a lot of challenges in South Africa. Black people are still subjected to inferior education. Black people are still subjected to slave wages. Black people are still subjected to a lot of things. So you don't have to be black to realize that. As the EFF, we don't believe that we have to compensate for the land that was stolen from black people. But at the same time, we don't want to create a situation where we are saying we are chasing white people away. All we are saying is that we must expropriate land in the public's interest, both for the interest of black people as well as white people.
Kiss the farmer! Kiss the farmer!
For me, it's not fun because every day you wake up and Alex, it's a challenge. Especially when you're unemployed. You wake up and think if today you will have anything to eat. Right now, I'm unemployed, but I'm an unemployed graduate. The living conditions in Alex are very poor, are very disturbing, actually. To me, I cannot say I'm entirely happy with the status quo. I have ambitions of going to school. I have ambitions of getting employment.
My boy. Just say hello.
But this is my hood. This is my hood. This is part of my roots now. I just have to find a way of surviving.
Yeah, these are my friends. These are the people I
Freedom to me means having shelter. Freedom is being able to afford a decent living. That for me is freedom. So in terms of that, I'm not free. But in terms of being free mentally, to be able to think for myself without being influenced, in that aspect, I am free.
So the spirit, the fallen spirit of the Marikana heroes, we should pick up the spear and fight on.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
It's been nearly a week since workers embarked on an illegal strike at the Lonmin Platinum Mine in Marikana in South Africa's Northwest Province.
Ilena leyijongile mona ndibona nyani ngoku ndiyafa xa ndifane ngenzanga. Yazi ukubulawa engathi ubulawe nja. Ubulawa ngumuntu omkhethile baye makakhethe. Akumele. Kufikele ixesha uba iphele yonke loo nto leyo. Futhi ndifuna unixelela ethanda engathanda umuntu lapha kula madoda onke. Akhona mnye umsebenzi nethemba owayekhona ngelalanga. Wakukhala isibhamu lapha kunuka ihuluwa uyive la. Wayilinge nje wayikhalisa nje. Ngive ngiyasi isibhamu ngelezi. Iblet le ishoyo manje. Ngihleli 6 months esibhedlela. Bengawugcina ubuye. And akekho umuntu ohlukunyeziwe njengami lapha. Marekani. Kekho. Into ebuhlungu eMarekani ukuthi engifuna bafa behamba nathi. Usetyenziswa sithi. Futhi sizawusebenzisa ngale ndlela siwufuna ngakhona. Bazosibona kakuhle ba lento besiyifuna imali ayoyabo bodwa yethu nathi siyayifuna.
The first time I watched this movie, I couldn't stop crying because I saw myself. When they were shooting all these people, I saw myself being shot because I'm black. I felt that my life is worth nothing. You may think I'm nobody, but I know this fighting spirit makes me somebody because I'm better than you who is sellout, who is worshipping the system. Fighters, let us revolt against the system. We are Africans and this Africa belongs to us. Amandla.
Feel like because of the cultural differences, we sort of need to respect the fact that people come from different backgrounds and they have different ways of doing things. And a lot of the time, we think that our way is the right way, but I don't know if there is any right way. I'm lucky I managed to go to a good school. I was brought up in a good home, but there's some people living in our country who have nothing. And it's quite a big term to place on everyone in this country because not everyone feels free. There's still some racism, and there's some people who don't actually have the ability to make the best of their right for education and their right for jobs, their right for homes. So in that way, I don't think everyone's free in this country, and I don't think that's really fair. At first I thought, like, we all need to move on, we need to just accept, you know, this is a new South Africa, and that was first my mentality. But the more and more I spoke to black people about it, the more I realized, actually, no, it's very hard to forgive because the effects of apartheid still resonate. Black people are still the majority of people living in poverty, and that is essentially a result of apartheid because they were denied education. They were given education, a lot of the time it was below the white education.
A lot of people still have a self-esteem issue, which is one thing that I felt or feel should have been dealt with immediately after the ending of apartheid. To deal with the self-esteem of a lot of black people who still feel like they can't, you know, be considered the same as a white person, or they aren't on the same level, or aren't as clever, or aren't as pretty, or, you know, and it creeps into all aspects of our lives, you know, when it comes to our work ethic and, you know, our ability to enjoy certain things. It creeps in because we feel like we don't necessarily subliminally deserve, you know, a lot of the things that white people have. We forget the humanness that we're supposed to have. And I think it's very important that we start to develop that again. We start to remember that each person has a heart, each person has emotions, each person has feelings, and we should try our utmost, our best to respect those feelings, to, you know, hold those feelings to high esteem, and to remember that at the end of the day, we all want to be loved, we all want to be considered, we all want to matter. So it's important that, you know, when you go out there in the mornings or whenever, that you try and show that kind of respect to the person, to the people you see on a day-to-day basis.
We have had a really, really tough past. For us to begun to heal as a country is quite remarkable. I mean, I really look up to a lot of black people and actually think, wow, I don't know how I'd have reacted in that kind of situation, and now forced to just forget about it and move on kind of thing. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. As a country, we try very hard to, you know, be the best, even though sometimes we flop a bit and we aren't the best. We at least try. So yeah, I do definitely think I'm proud to be South African. I don't think the majority of white people support any racist beliefs or whatever. And apartheid was also a minority. I mean, there's a small group of South African white people who managed to get this hold on the country.
We walk around in our campus, people are dying for man. Can we share?
I was raised by my mother and my grandmother, but now they both passed away. Us, the African people, we like to say white people, white people. You see, white people, they go to school, and they also encourage their children to go to school. Even if they are privileged to have funds to go to school, blah, blah, blah. But we are also privileged. So black people tend to say, white people, they are always getting jobs, what. White people are working hard. They have the mind of the capitalist. So they are always pushing. And a white person before he or she have a child, he plans, he invests for that child. So as we don't plan, we don't invest, at the end of the day, we'll complain, white people, white people. White people are just like us. There's nothing wrong with what they are doing. Afrikaner, they are still practicing apartheid. They are still trying to oppress us. But then we discriminate each other, us as black people. Other people say, hey, you are a Tonga. You are a Venda. Crosses, they speak a lot. Like, we discriminate each other ourselves. I don't think it will change because they are always calling each other names. Hey, your father is a Tonga, is a Shangane. You are dirty like Shanganese. You see, this thing will never change. I don't think it will change now. Maybe I'll be gone when it changes. I don't know. It enlightened my mind that the people were crying, they were in pain, the oppression was too much. They couldn't take it any longer. They wanted their leaders to talk for them, to bring changes, to bring peace in South Africa. I, as in born free, I was not here during apartheid, but listening to this song, it gives me an idea of how painful it was being a black person at that time. I want to be an MP in Parliament. That's my dream, because that is why I'm doing public management. I want to play part in shaping the policies and showing that there's no corruption in our generation. I, as an individual, want to be there to help other people, the underprivileged people. I want to become part of the governance. Now, we, the upcoming generation, we must have seats at Parliament. We must be part of the legislative. So it is important for us to be part of this campaign. Never. Yeah, let's go peacekeeper when. Maybe 40% of youth are interested in politics. The other one, they'll tell you, blah, 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 politics. They have politics, a headache, what. We don't want to be involved. As long as we are earning a decent salary, we are going to work, it's fine. We don't care whether who is in charge. At the end of the day, they complain that the government is corrupt while they are not taking part. As an individual and the population, you must take part in the policy formulation. We must question the government. We must fight the government. But now the government doesn't have a challenge because the youth there, they are relaxing.
Here, come. Kimang mo polisi alon naman sa hero alon. Nelson Mandela na si hero alon.
Nelson Mandela rin. Nuna liturong sa singatan niya korpari sa tamaya.
I was not yet born when apartheid was in its darkest moments in South Africa. I was born in 1992, and while growing up, I grew up in the Northwest, in some small village in the Northwest called Jonobi. I grew up in a mud house. I stayed there with my grandmother while my mom was in Gauteng trying to find a job. The reason I relocated is that I had started questioning a lot of things, and most of my educators realized that I would not survive in an area where the education system is very poor and there are limited resources to find information. South Africa is an angry, angry society. They believe that they were sold out. They believe that Nelson Mandela would have said, do the same to them because they oppressed you. Now it's time for you to oppress them. When President Mbeki took second office, I started developing things within me, starting asking myself questions of various things. How do we speak about people being liberated, yet we still find people not having proper education? 20 years on, we still have people living in appalling conditions in Alex. Well, what can I say? We need to start being very vocal. We need to start engaging with the people more. We have a platform where we have community radio stations. We need to use those platforms where if we have an ANC representative in studio, engage with them. You as well as an activist, and myself as well. I need to start engaging. I need to call the radio station and say, I'm available for an interview. I want to speak to young people about the DA manifesto.
I say my time is over, but we need young leaders. Now you call them the corruption, the BE. I must admit, I don't distribute it because I can't run. But if, you know, some people is working. There are places in Soweto that is like Houghton. It's quiet. Only the dogs barking. You leave that pamphlet there. That's for the morning after. Even the media can squeeze the DA. But for me, I won't go to the graveyard and get members.
What are the other things that you are coming across?
We need to show the people that we are visible. The DA is not meant for the whites, but we as blacks are in the DA and we serve within the DA structures. We are leaders within the DA. It is time for us to take responsibility. It is time for us to act our message out there very correctly.
Thank you.
Those who said they would vote on the basis that they believe that it is time for change. They believe that apartheid was not meant for them, as I do. It was never meant for me, and apartheid was never meant for the generation that came after me. I'm hoping and I'm dreaming of becoming the youngest councillor in the city of Johannesburg after the elections. My plans is to go into council and, you know, challenge the ANC in every possible way I can and have a great team of people that I'm working with and that they're going to help me win the city of Johannesburg in the 2016 municipal elections.
because it has become corrupt and only cares about the very few at the top. It is time you can send Jacob Zuma's ANC a message that says, we demand change, and you can make it happen because you have the power. One thing the politicians have forgotten in South Africa is that the people have the power and not the politicians. So in this election, the DA can make a magnificent breakthrough if all the blue people stand together. Stand with the DA, together for change, together for jobs.
It is 20 years into our democracy. I don't know apartheid, I only read about apartheid. So to me, race does not matter. The DA can have a white leader, it can have an Indian leader, it can have a black leader. It makes no difference to my commitment to the party.
I'm a floor heating technician at the moment. Jobs are extremely scarce. These days, you don't do a job you like, you do a job you get. It's the first job I could get, and there's why I'm staying. If it wasn't for them, I'd be living on the streets. I will not vote in this election. There's a population of 50 million in South Africa. 4 million of that 50 million are whites. We will never be able to vote ourselves into power. I'm not living as a South African. I'm living as a Boer. That's seeing my country, my Boereland. And that's where I'm going. And that's where my freedom lies. And every day I live my life as if I'm in that country. Everything I do is for that country. The result of the country is the result of the so-called heroes of that time. And if the result of those heroes of that time and this country is corruption, murder, rape, farm murders, anarchy, if that's the result of the so-called leaders, doesn't that make you think, but was everything said about those leaders then true? Can I really believe all these wonderful media stories that was flooding the world? If they were so wonderful, why isn't everything wonderful now? Why is the result of their work so sinister and evil? We have a right to live here. We built 80% of what is in South Africa 20 years back. Before we came to South Africa, was there any development? There was nothing. They didn't even have the wheel. We came here, we built this country with our own hands. Everyone had schools, everyone had jobs, everyone had clean water. But 20 years of not knowing how to do these things and how to manage and how to run, and corruption has left all these systems that was built. I expect a revolution soon.
Dat is dit nodig het nie. Nou ja, goed. Voor ons aangaan, wil ek u vra om 1 minuut stilte te hou en 'n menslike ketting in almal hande vat vir al ons boere gevangenisse. Dat ons ook hierdie mense, dat ons aan hulle dink vandag in hulle uur van nood.
Wie sal ons skei van die liefde van Christus? Verdrukking of benoudheid of vervolging of honger of naaktheid? of gevaar of swaard? Is dit nie dinge wat een ek ook vandag ken nie? Hoeveel van ons mense sit in plakkerskampe in die bitterste ellende gekonfronteer met honger en met naaktheid? Dan gaan hy verder, dan sê hy, wat van gevaar? Hoeveel van ons mense is nie gekonfronteer met gevaar nie? Ja, selfs die gevaar dat die mense jou burgerskap kan uitleef nie, omdat onderdrukkende wetgewing en dinge dit vir jou moeilik maak. Regstellende aksie, al hierdie soort van dinge, dis gevaar.
Wanneer 'n man verdruk word, wanneer al onregte teen 'n man gepleeg word, soos teen meneer Clive Derby Lewis, en soos wat daar in die geskiedenis al teen ons mense gepleeg is, dan word daardie mense onthou, nie vir die misdaad waarvoor hy veroordeel is nie. Hy word onthou vir dit waarvoor hy gestaan het. Vriende, hierdie owerheid moet weet, verdrukking van 'n volk maak hom nie dood nie. Julle sal ons nie doodmaak nie. Julle sal ons maak.
Die boere is op pad. Ons sal weer regeer.
Vryheid is die enigste weg.
Laat Clive Derby Lewis vry! Laat Clive Derby Lewis vry!
Laat Clive Derby Lewis vry! Laat Clive Derby Lewis vry! Ons boere soek ons vryheid! Ons boere soek ons volksstaat!
Vryheid, volksstaat!
Vryheid, volksstaat! Vryheid, volksstaat! Vryheid, volksstaat!
Laat Clive Derby Lewis vry!
Laat Clive Derby Lewis vry! Laat Clive Derby Lewis vry! Laat Clive Derby Lewis vry! There isn't any improvement for white or black in this country at the moment. We are all disadvantaged at the moment. We've got this multiracial society now, and the result is everyone is losing their own identity. So we're becoming this mixture of whatever you call it, but it's not a peaceful, happy society at the moment.
IEC's National Results Centre in Pretoria. The ANC is sitting at well over 3 million votes, while the DA is slowly edging closer to 1.4 million.
Patrick Gaspard is U.S. Ambassador to South Africa.
I went to sites in Soweto. I went out to Mamelodi. I went in middle-class communities. I went in struggling communities. It was very similar. Similar vibe, similar organization. Some of the same struggles with electoral infrastructure, but at the end of the day, a proud democracy that got to be on full display. I was quite impressed with the efficiency, the organization of the election, and most importantly, with the patience of South Africans who waited on lines, and the exuberance of people young and old who got to express their preferences in a free and open society. I have to tell you that as an international observer, I was excited and I learned much.
dominance in most of the country, but may face new official opposition in some provinces. The EFF is so far coming in second in the Northwest and Limpopo. The DA looks set to maintain its opposition status elsewhere, except for the Western Cape, where it's come out tops.
And then you push it that way. That
Good
is
luck.
your voice, ne? It's your voice.
Zuma, 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 Zuma,
We are leading this country into a prosperous South Africa as captured in the Freedom Charter. And the people of this country are marching with us at all material time. They are on our side, like God. If God is on your side, who can defeat you? If the people of this country are on the side of the ANC and allies, who can defeat us?
Africa, 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 my mother nation.
It was in Soweto on the morning of 1976, June 16, when all the massacre started. It left the nation with the scars. It left the nation scattered. It was in Soweto when all the streets were painted with red. It was in Soweto where the nations lost faith in our nationality. It was in Soweto.
I have friend wives, yet they betrayed my daughters, who was to say my blood no more. Those who gave her no love, but hatred and torture. And here, I virtually had others for no reason. I have learned the
African nation, African world,
the voices which almost set my home.
Saphela isizwe simnyama iculo beliculwa kusenhlungwini kaloku befuna inkululeko kodwa namhlanje liculwa sithi kuba isizwe simoshekile awu abadala bathi kungcono inkululeko kunesizwe sangoku kodwa mina ngithi kungcono isizwe sangoku kunesizwe sakudala inkululeko kaloku ingcono iyona ezisukonwabe enhlizweni kodwa thina senza ntoni sihlalele ntoni sithini singama-Afrika ulutsha luphi baphi abantu siphelile isizwe angena amanzi endlini waphela umzi kaphalo umzi wabantsundu uphelile thina senza ntoni na silulutsha lutsha kudingeka wena lutsha kufuneka wena ngaphandle kwakho kaloku asikho isombululo.
Okay. All right. Pretoria, the capital
Poetry.
city of apartheid.
We change the mentality of those whose minds are subjected to lack, limitation, boundaries, and apartheid.
Pretoria, union building in Pretoria. The execution is sentences. But why do I see and so? Land of hunger, honey and whole nation.
kind of police propaganda disinformation. Why you African on the back when you're not on the boat? I come no license, no crime, no fight, no crime, no reaching for my dignity, no police force can arrive.
Ooh, yeah! Africa!
I never